What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update. But actually, before we get into it, I want to tell you about a really interesting development. Not only do we have written and video content for you guys, but audio content is now available on all various different podcasting platforms. Spotify is there, and I think other ones are about to get released pretty soon once it's all verified and stuff like that. But very excited to tell the news that we are now beginning on all podcasting platforms. So let's get straight in to the Tottenham update, and let's start off talking about Jed Spence. A bit of positive news from Jed Spence for once, as Gazzetta Italia says that Tottenham loanee Jed Spence has impressed Genoa from his first training session, and Genoa wanted the wing-back last summer, and now there is a strong chance that they will attempt to make his move permanent this summer.
So he's impressing in training. What about in the game?
Well, I think he's only played one game, but I think he did impress in that game.
Okay, so maybe there's a chance for him to, make a home for himself at Genoa, or maybe even, who knows, if he really does well and proves that he's changed his attitude, maybe he can come back to Spurs next season. I wouldn't be excited about that possibility or hold my breath about that just yet. But I'm very happy that he seems to be applying himself and they're very happy with him. And that's really, really positive. So let's see how the rest of the season goes with him. But I do believe for Leeds and for Rennes, there were stages where they were impressed with him as well, and then it kind of fell by the wayside. So it's all about consistency, whether he can keep it up. But I'm happy for him if he's having a good time over there and impressing. That's really positive.
Yeah, he's played 2.5 games in Serie A so far, so not just one game. And if the reports are true that he is impressing, I mean, it's good news all round, isn't it? So we'll see how that one develops from now to the end of the season.
Even if he has a great second half of the season, is there any chance he comes back to Spurs? Would you completely rule that out?
I wouldn't completely rule it out at all. He's a young boy, still making his way, his name in the game. We know he's got quality in terms of footballing ability, but it's all about his application and his attitude and if he can apply that. So I think that if he can prove to Ange in his loan spell this year that he's got, a future at the club, I wouldn't, discount it. But let's talk about potential player of the month, as Richarlison has been shortlisted for January's Player of the Month award alongside Elijah Adebayo, Connor Bradley, Kevin De Bruyne, Gabriel of Arsenal and Diogo Jota of Liverpool. And he's definitely got a big shot of winning it, hasn't he?
Yeah, what games did he play in the Premier League? He played Man United and he played Man United and he played, what was the other game? Because he's Brentford. Yeah, Brentford, and he scored in both, so 2 in 2 games. And he played really well in both those games as well. Probably was our best player. I mean, obviously discounting the FA Cup games, they don't really go towards the award. He definitely has a big shout to win Player of the Month, and I think it'll be recognition of his improvement as well. I think he's had a great turnaround since his surgery, and basically since the start of December, he's been one of the best strikers in the league. So I'm really delighted for him. Hopefully, if he does win an award, it gives him that confidence boost to continue this kind of form from now to the end of the season. I'm just concentrating on him at the moment in terms of how happy I am with his current performance level, how much of an improvement he's made. And I don't know if you have it there, but he's like me making quotes recently about the difference, being in therapy has really helped him, and how there was a bit of a stigma about it, in a small town that he grew up in Brazil. He said that no one goes to therapy because they just think it's for crazy people, and he didn't even consider it, but it's really helped him. And I'm really happy that he's shining a light on how mental health struggles and improve that. And maybe people can look at that and take inspiration and seek help if they need it as well. So I'm delighted for him that his season has turned around, and I think I'm delighted about him, the person he is, and I think he's just a great guy, a great person, and I think he's proving that as well.
Yeah, he even said in that interview that his parents, kind of didn't like the idea of therapy and, all that stuff. We're talking about the stigma about therapy with his parents, obviously coming from that village as well. So it's really good that he's kind of has his eyes open to new things, and he's definitely seeing the benefits of it. So big up to Richarlison. Let's hope he bags another couple of goals this weekend against Brighton. Let's talk about this Hugo Lloris settlement, as Sammy Mokbel says Daniel Levy negotiated a settlement figure with Hugo Lloris, which saw the former club captain bring in a majority of what would have been owed to him for the remaining 6 months of his 100 grand per week contract that was due to expire in June, despite Lloris departing in January. So Daniel Levy getting a little bit of money off from that contract he owed him.
Yeah, a tiny bit. I don't know. As you say, it was most. So I don't think it was anything massively substantial, but I think it was to benefit us. Any money off is a benefit. We know that. And then when it comes to like the budgets and FFP and all this kind of stuff, but obviously doesn't seem like it was a material amount, but very good of Lloris to take a bit less just so he can leave the club early. But I think it benefits everyone that he got this move in January. I don't think it was helping anyone that our club captain or former club captain was, not in the squad, not playing games, and not being involved. So I think it's a positive thing, and I'm glad that we're able to facilitate that move in January.
Yeah, absolutely. So we wish, obviously, Hugo Lloris all the best. And it was, after everything that happened in the summer, in terms of that friendly with Shakhtar and the Shakhtar goalkeeper got the send-off, it was so good to see Hugo Lloris finally get that send-off. And it was the send-off he deserved, to be honest, coming on at half-time, the whole stadium, getting their feet and showing their appreciation to the service that he gave to the football club. So we do wish Hugo Lloris all the best in the future. Now let's get on to the players returning to Hotspur Way. And Heung-min Son has returned to Hotspur Way. As Sammy Mokbel says that Tottenham captain Heung-min Son is set to return to Hotspur Way on Thursday with a view of being available for the weekend's match against Brighton. We've got a video that we'll show in a minute after we get on to the next news, but it's great to see Sonny back, obviously.
Yeah, I'm delighted. Obviously, it was heartbreak. I don't know if you have that. He put a message out on Instagram about his heartbreak, so basically apologising to the Korea fans that he weren't able to make the final. And he said he gave his best. He actually, very interesting, in an interview, he said like he has no regrets in terms of he gave everything, but it just wasn't enough. And he said maybe I just wasn't a good enough captain. So I don't like hearing Son talk about stuff like that.
Didn't lead the team well enough and stuff like that. Like he always beats himself up, Sonny, doesn't he?
I just hope he doesn't bring that back to Spurs. I hope, but I think it's going to be very important for his teammates to, give him, get his chin up, basically, get him back on form and get him to be confident again. Because obviously, having suffered an embarrassing defeat against Jordan in the semi-final, what was a massive game for his country, haven't won that cup since the 60s. So he understood the importance of that game, and to go out in that game having not had a shot on target against a team that they were massive favourites for, and they definitely should have been beating, must have really clearly it's affected him. It's beaten him up. We'll see in the video as well, he doesn't look like the happy Sonny that he usually does. So I think his teammates have a job to do to lift him up again, and hopefully this weekend he gets a great reception back from the fans, which I'm sure he will. And if he can get whether he starts or comes off the bench, if he can get a goal or something, get that confidence up, I'm sure Son will return to his best sooner rather than later. Yeah,
give him a training session or two. He'll be big. Get that smile back on his face. He'll be right as rain. I'm completely sure of that, with the mentality that Heung-min Son has. By the time the game comes this weekend, I'm sure he'll be bang up for it, that's for sure. And Yves Bissouma, Sammy Motwell says that Bissouma did test positive for malaria whilst at the AFCON, but is set to be cleared to return to action with Spurs.
Bissouma's such a great influence in the dressing room. I think you can see that. He's been, I think Ange commented about it near the beginning of the season, how he wanted Bissouma to take that kind of role in the dressing room, even though he's not one of the captains. But you can see everyone's delighted to have him back. The dance moves are back. I know his AFCON didn't maybe go as well as he had hoped. Obviously, he suffered from malaria when he was out there, and maybe that contributed to him not getting the starts or the minutes maybe he should have. But hopefully he comes back in good condition and can help contribute. Whether he starts this weekend, we'll have to wait and see, or maybe he needs some more time. But I'm delighted that it doesn't seem to be a long-standing issue and he's going to be cleared for action. So that's really positive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see two top players returning for the team this weekend, and hopefully it'll kickstart that really strong second half of the season that we're going to have. But let's show you these videos. If you are listening on the podcasting platforms, head over to our YouTube and click on the Tottenham update. You'll be able to see the videos. But this first one is of Sonny returning back. Obviously, Pape Matar is the first one to go over and give him a hug. Yeah. I mean, it does seem like a bit of a half-assed hug from Sonny. Doesn't seem like his smiley usual self, but I'm sure he'll get back to that pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm sure if he'd come back, as a winner in the tournament and stuff, you'd seen a much more energetic, smiley Son. His fingers are still strapped as well, so hopefully that's not an issue that's going to be something long-term. But he definitely doesn't seem that bubbly Sonny, does he? Which is a shame. It's a shame as well they cut off that video just before Romero was about to get the hug, and I'd love to see that. But yeah, look, we need to cheer him up. We need to get his We need to get his smile back, which
He'll get it back. Look, he's the club captain. He feels that responsibility. And yeah, it's been a terrible week for Sonny. It really has. But him back at Spurs with, everyone loved him in South Korea, obviously, but this is a different atmosphere here at Spurs. It's a happy atmosphere, not against the manager and stuff like that. No negativity is going to be seeping in. So I'm sure he'll feel that love in the stadium as well.
And if he's able to train today, clearly it looks like he's training today, and I'm sure he's going to train tomorrow as well. Surely that means he comes straight back in?
Yeah, I think
into the lineup. If he's training, if he's fit enough to train.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see him in the starting lineup. I really would, but I just don't know. It depends on his mentality as well, and if he's mentally there that he wants to play. I'm sure he will be. I have no doubt in my mind that he will be. So maybe he will play. I don't know. I'm conflicted on it.
Yeah, me too. I think if he's fit enough to play, it's going to be, and seeing as he's our captain, it's going to be very tempting for Ange to throw him straight back in. But I guess it depends what condition he's in. But if he's fit enough to train, I guess it depends how he gets through training. We'll see what kind of conditions he's in.
I'm sure he'll be fine. He's a model professional, isn't he, Heung-min Son? Let's look at these ones. This is Yves Bissouma returning back. It's James Maddison, I think.
This is Emerson's video.
Oh, Emerson's video. Sorry, looking at his drip, looking at his outfit, Louis Vuitton. I don't know. He's saying orange, it was fire.
Yeah, love it. Eves always comes with like colourful dress code, doesn't he? Always having something to wear, but absolutely brilliant. I love Yves Bissouma, the kind of vibes he brings to the squad. It's so great.
And if you're talking about vibes, let's look at the next video. He's back in the dressing room, back orchestrating the dance moves. Look at that. Bissouma is back. The vibes are back at Tottenham. And obviously Pape Sarr and Emerson just seem to be the central of all videos all the time.
Yeah, and it's something Ange commented on, isn't it? Because he said in his press conference, I think before the game, he said the way Emerson is, his attitude and the way he is around the squad, you'd think he'd be like playing every week and he'd be a consistent starter, and he trains so well, but he has such a big influence in the dressing room. Maybe that's part of the reason we really like having him around, because he's everyone seems to love him. He's a great character and he seems to get on with everyone.
Yeah, and that was obviously that video there was posted by James Maddison, and the caption said, "He's only been back 5 minutes."
Yeah. Love it. I love it.
So I'm loving the camaraderie between the group. But let's talk about the last story we've got for you today, and that is on Mickey van der Ven, as the Premier League tweeted out yesterday that Mickey van der Ven has sprinted into the history books by becoming the fastest player ever on record in the Premier League, since records began in 2021, though. It says the 22-year-old Tottenham defender, who hit a top speed of 35.97 kilometers an hour for Wolfsburg last campaign, went even faster by clocking an astonishing 37.38 kilometers an hour against Brentford on the 31st of January, a record in the Premier League since the data started being collected in 2021. That put his feet into context. Van der Ven's blistering pace against Brentford was clocked at 10.38 miles per second, or 23.23 miles per hour, when sprint star Usain Bolt set the current 100 meters world record in 2009. His average speed was 10.44 meters per second, or 23.35 miles per hour, which is absolutely insane. Obviously, it's a much, obviously Usain Bolt was over 100 meters, sorry, and Van der Ven's over a lot shorter space, but still, it's so impressive from Mickey van der Ven. And when you think about the fast players that have been in the Premier League since that time, 2021, you're looking at the Carl Walkers of this world, and this guy's even faster. I mean, it's mad.
It's insane, and that's probably, obviously, it's a big reason why we brought him in with his pace, but that kind of pace is unheard of, clearly, when it comes to centre-backs and in the Premier League as well. It's astonishing, and I think he uses it to such good effect as well, and how he defends, and he uses that strength massively, and we need that kind of pace as well. When we're defending such a high line, we leave a lot of space, and he covers so much ground, and that kind of the data there in terms of how quick he is, comparable to Usain Bolt, which is nuts when you think about Usain Bolt, the current 100-meter world record holder. I mean, that's insane. Maybe he should have been a 100-meter sprinter. Yeah. I mean, it's nuts. It's crazy.
I just couldn't believe it when I saw it. And I thought it was I saw these tweets coming out, he's comparable to Usain Bolt, but I thought, yeah, it's got to be a troll or something. And then the Premier League are tweeted this
How
out.
are you supposed to start running behind him when he's going to be faster? He's going to be nearly as fast as Usain Bolt. How are you supposed to catch him? It's unbelievable. It's crazy.
Mad. Absolutely mad. But look, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news topics we spoke about today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you